Let's kick off a new week and a new month together. What do you say? Hi, everybody. Thomas Miller on the Fun Astrology podcast for Monday, December 4th. And we do have quite a few things going on. And fortunately, we have a couple of quiet days ahead of us so we can digest these things into our lives. We'll talk about the moon today, but the first thing I'd like to hit is Venus moves into Scorpio today. That's the only thing today, the only activity on the calendar, the only event at the event center, if you will. And that's at 1:50 p.m. today Eastern. Now we get into the conversation. Venus is grumpy in Scorpio. Okay, what does that mean? Because I was thinking about this. If you go back and look at November 8th, when Venus entered Libra, what happened in Venus-related areas in your life since then? And it might have been a little before that, as Venus was wrapping up in Virgo. I was thinking, poor Venus, its home is Libra. It doesn't like Virgo so much. It doesn't like Scorpio so much. Well, that's the way it rolls. I would say all of you Librans and everybody that has a strong Venus in your chart is doing just fine. Venus came up on a map question during a reading over the weekend and was asking about should she move to a Venus line of her boyfriend. And I just was like, well, I'm sitting on my Venus line, and I've never probably been happier any place in the country. So I said, roll the dice, go for it. But at least as of today, Venus will be in Scorpio. Now let's just think about that from an evolutionary perspective. And from a natal chart perspective for just a second. If you have Venus in Scorpio, that might indicate that something related to those Venusian characteristics, money, love, balance, harmony, etc., might have been thrown a little bit out of balance. It might have been thrown way out of balance because that Scorpio energy came forward into this life. So it comes forward so that we can work with it. We can experience it. Same thing, if you're having a challenge in your relationship, you can't healthily deal with it until you bring it up and talk about it. On the karmic plane, what you do is you experience it in a lifetime so that you can bring it up, metaphorically work through it, experience it, deal with it, and hopefully resolve it. And that doesn't mean that every placement has some kind of karmic attachment. It means they can, and you just have to see how it unfolds in your life to see what is being experienced there. Now, let's think about it from the perspective of what's going on over our heads over the next month, because it moves out into Sagittarius December 29th, right before the end of the month. Number one, there could be some passion related to those Venusian areas that might pop up over these next several weeks. You could be playful with that, especially in relationship-related areas. Don't be afraid to be on the edge. Go a little deep. Experiment with some things that you might not have done before. Be careful not to cross that edge into that dark side of Scorpio and have it come back on you, like where you open up some kind of deep wound. Be careful of that in the process. There's two sides of the coin, right? And then in all of those Venusian areas, you might also be watching out for the opportunity to make some deep inquiries into where am I really in these areas related to money and love and boundaries and home and just balance in my own life between work and kids and family, etc. And are you making enough time for yourself, or are you getting swept away? These are all things that could be analyzed and properly addressed under Scorpio. And good month to do it, too, with Mercury half the month in retrograde. Good time to spend on these Venus-related areas. Maybe if you're in a partnership or relationship, you set a date, go out and look at some lights, seasonal lights, and have a cup of chai tea somewhere along the way. And just say, make it an intention of the date. Can we talk about some deeper stuff? Not to bring anything up, just to explore. Just how are we doing? Where are we? If money is your focus, you could do the same thing. Have some kind of getaway, retreat, where you ask some deeper questions of yourself. If you have a financial advisor, this would be a good month to touch base. Year-end wrap-up, year-end review. But particularly thinking about your own self and your own balance lines. Where are they? Do they need to adjust a little bit? Do you need to move a rope in or push a rope out? That would be milking Venus in Scorpio in very positive ways. And let all the people who say that Venus is grumpy, well, you might experience something, but you don't have to if you do the work, right? Okay, now let's talk about the moon real quick here, and then we'll scoot out for this beginning day of the week. The moon to start the day is in the early signs of Virgo. It entered there last night, and it will be in there until midday Wednesday. At least on the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast, you'll probably be sipping coffee when the moon enters Libra on Wednesday. One lunar aspect you might want to catch today, 1232, according to my chart here, where I'm set in North Carolina, is a trine to Jupiter. If you need to take an action that you want some Jupiter blessing, Jupiter benefit, or excess of blessing, give me abundance. Well, 1232, and then adjust that to your own time. Couple of places you can get these lunar calendars. I'm using two. I'm using astroseek.com, astro-seek.com if I'm on my laptop. And then on the phone, I've been using Time Nomad. It's a little add-on, costs a few dollars to add it on, but well worth it in my opinion. And then, of course, when I'm in here recording, it's the Honeycomb Collective. So those really, I guess, three. But it is worth now that we're following this on a pretty close basis. And then set an alert. Make something go off to say, oh, I need to send that email. I need to make that phone call. I need to submit this report, whatever it is. 1232, Jupiter blessings today. Yes, even though the moon is in Virgo. Hey, mine is, so I can talk about it, right? It's like, hey, I got it. So there we are. Okay, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm so glad that we're going to get to take another lap together this week, and we will have some good old soul, new soul podcasts, and then be sure to check out what's going on over on Subconscious Mind Mastery with the new launch of the new website I'm so excited about. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you back tomorrow. Bye-bye.